So we come to an interesting point in the show. Now, if you listen to the versions of the show we did before, we would normally do our bottom 5 films of the year. Now, since we did the last show, there's been a bit of a, let's just say, an ethical and a moral kind of stance certain people have taken where it's wrong to call out films for being bad and everyone's putting in hard work and you shouldn't shit on people even if you don't like the film and blah, 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 blah. And I think some of that is true. And look, there's way too much negativity in the world. I think it's better to kind of be positive.
Yeah.
Generally. And look, if you want negativity, there are loads of grifter YouTubers out there who are spouting negativity because it makes their money, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't really want to be part of that. But I think it's still worth calling out films that are bad.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to call out low budget independent films because that's just not really fair, is it?
It's mean. Yeah, it feels very mean.
Yeah, it's very mean. So we're going to stick to one bad film.
One each, yeah.
Yes.
Curious as to if we've picked the same one, actually.
Do you have a bingo card for this?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I have 2 here that I think you might have chosen from.
Right. Okay. So there wasn't anything that was like particularly egregiously bad. So in previous years, we've had films like The Bye-Bye Man or Slender Man or Hellraiser Revelations and things like that, which are obviously, look, they're worse than anything that I watched. And I don't watch films like, you know, Popeye the Slayer Man because like those films are just lazy. They just want you to tell...
Slayer Man.
Yeah, they just want you to kind of notice how bad they are and to call out how bad they are. And it's like, I see your game. I see what you're up to. And no, I'm not going to give you that kind of attention. So my choice is a film that feels like it could have come out in 2010.
Okay.
So in 2010 and around that time, we had films like The Last Exorcism and The Rite and, worst of all, The Devil Inside.
Okay.
Which are films basically about exorcisms and people who are possessed. And if we had done this show in 2023, my worst film of the year would have been The Exorcist Believer because that film is fucking terrible.
Okay.
So I have a film with, well, one very, very long exorcism in it. Let's just put it that way, which is The Ritual, which is directed by David Medell. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Now, this film, not to harp on because it's not the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just not very good, though. The film is so repetitive.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a series of exorcisms throughout the film, and that's just kind of it.
It wasn't on my Greg Worst Film bingo card, so that's interesting. And the synopsis is 2 priests, one in crisis with his faith and the other confronting a turbulent past, must overcome their differences to perform a risky exorcism. So I actually saw this as well, and I gave
You saw it at the cinema. You should have asked for your money back.
Well, it was on my subscription, so I can't do that.
Oh, dear.
But I would like the time refunded, please, Cineworld.
Yeah.
But I gave it 2 out of 5, which I feel is generous.
That's very generous.
Yeah, I can see why you didn't like this.
No. So the main character in this is Dan Stevens. He was not originally supposed to be in this film. Apparently Ben Foster was meant to play this character and he pulled out, which is good for Ben Foster. Not so much for Dan Stevens. I feel sorry for Dan Stevens because he's a good actor, but he does appear in a lot of bad films. And his character in this is really not given much to do. He's just there to deliver exposition and just look generally pensive, like he doesn't want to be there. It's like, what's going on? Which isn't great. In the first minute or 2 of the film, literally, he's like, oh, my brother died. I was like, okay, cool story, bro. Al Pacino is in this as well, which is a mixed thing because he's not overplaying it, but I almost kind of would rather he did kind of overplay it. He was like, hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Like that level of like Al Pacino performance would have been awesome.
More entertaining.
It would have been more entertaining. Like in The Pope's Exorcist, like Russell Crowe looks like he's having a grand old time in a film that is complete nonsense, but kind of knows it's nonsense.
Yeah, and I quite enjoyed it actually, even though it was silly.
It's very silly, but it's kind of fun silly. Like,
yeah, it was watchable.
Whereas this is just very po-faced and serious.
Yeah.
And it's clearly trying to be like, oh, it's based on like the same case as The Exorcist is based on, which it's not, first of all. So you're a liar, guys. I don't know. It's just not a very good film. I feel sorry for the actress who has to play Emma Schmidt, who's the young woman who gets exercised, because she has to do a lot of the contorty sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Which you have to do in these films. Yeah, it's just a very boring, bland film, really.
Yeah,
It's just, if
with
you've
the
seen...
same title of a previous film, which was way better.
Yeah,
The
which
Rich
came
one.
out in 2017, oddly enough.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Yeah, it's just not very good. I mean, if it wasn't this, I could have picked I Know What You Did Last Summer, because that film, first of all, it thinks it's very clever and very funny, which is neither.
Yeah.
It's just shit.
Yeah.
And like Fear Street Prom Queen is bad, but it's just very milquetoast. That is horror for tweens, basically.
Tween horror.
Basically, if you just watch that film and just watch it thinking that everyone in it is gay, it becomes much better because everyone is just gay. And I don't know, that just would have made it more fun. But anyway, not to labour the point, but my worst film of the year is The Ritual. Don't watch it. It's shit.
Okay, that's very fair. So we'll move on to mine, which you probably disliked as well. But my worst horror film of the year was The Woman in the Yard, directed by Jaume Collet Serra.
Which is taking a proper kicking in this episode, by the way. I think I mentioned this earlier. I was like, yeah, I didn't think this was very good either.
Not very good. Yeah. The synopsis is a mysterious woman repeatedly appears in a family's front yard, often delivering chilling warnings and unsettling messages, leaving them to question her identity, motives, and the potential danger she might pose. But essentially, it's a woman sitting on a chair outside the front of their house, and not a lot else happens. And that was my issue with it, is that nothing happens and it's incredibly boring. There's not even much tension, and she doesn't even really do anything. She just sits in the yard.
See me, you yard woman.
Yeah.
That's all she is. Yeah,
So-
Ria's not wrong about this, by the way. Literally, it's like a woman, her husband's died, and then this woman randomly appears in the yard. Oh, I wonder what this could be. So, all right.
Yeah, but I mean, she doesn't actually do anything, so I don't understand where the threat is. Because I think she's like come from an old person's home or like a care home, and that's what they sort of figure out, if there's anything that I kind of gleaned from this, which was very difficult. But they don't know where she's come from, but she's like an elderly lady. I mean, she seems to be elderly and she doesn't really pose much of a threat. She just sits in the front yard.
No. I mean, to me, this just feels like Blumhouse trying to do like an A24 style film, but just badly.
It felt like they had the look down for what they wanted and the poster, but then there was no substance behind it whatsoever, and it just falls completely flat. Like, there was no point in having a plot, really. Nothing really happens.
Yeah, I also didn't think this was very good.
So yeah, least favourite. That was my least favourite.
Any dishonourable mentions while we're here?
Well, I really didn't like The Shrouds, which I know that you thought was okay, by David Cronenberg, but that was like the second choice that I was debating over. And I thought the dialogue was just atrocious in that movie. It was so cheesy. There were all these unnecessary, over-the-top sex scenes that were just laughable. I watched this at the Prince Charles, which was a fun experience, but my God, is this stilted and just not a good movie. Like, I really didn't like it. I thought David Cronenberg's let himself down with that one. Greg might not agree.
Although he is appearing in the new Ready or Not film.
Oh.
So maybe he can redeem himself in your eyes in that.
Fair play, David.